Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands. Today we continue with a new edition of Kill Team and we'll see Necrons vs Death Guard. I'm Simone and I'll play Death Guard.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I'll be playing Necrons. Before we started, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back. If you are not subscribed yet and want to help us, join our growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys.
Today's mission is Domination. The two armies will have to deploy within these two areas. There are 5 objectives and they are arranged in this way. The goal of this game is to claim the objectives.
At the end of the turn, the primary objectives claimed will award victory points. There will also be 3 secondary objectives each that will award points. Each player can score a maximum of 12 points from the primary objectives and a maximum of 2 points from each secondary objective, for a total of 6. The player with the most victory points is the winner. The game will last for turns. Both armies start with 2 common points, earning 1 point at the start of each turn.
Before introducing you to the kill teams, I want to advise you to watch the video until the end, because you will have the possibility to name one of the fire teams belonging to the army that will win the game. If you are wondering, yes, these units you are naming will be part of the campaign we are creating. But now, let's move on to the description of the armies. The Death Guard is recovering after the clash with the Astra Militarum and has occupied an Imperial refinery, using it as a base for the troops. The Poxwalkers wander aimlessly and the Marines study the next moves. An alarm sound suddenly fills the air as the first lookouts warn of the arrival of an unexpected enemy. Arm yourself, people! My Death Guard kill team is composed of 2 fire teams, Plague Marines and Poxwalkers. The operatives in the Plague Marine fire team are, as a leader, a Plague Marine champion equipped with Bolt Gun and Power Fist. As additional equipment, he has Virulent Rounds and an Arglin. A Plague Marine Gunner armed with Meltagun, Plague Knife and Mephitic Toxin, and a Plague Marine Warrior equipped with Bolt Gun, Plague Knife, Virulent Rounds and Mephitic Toxin. The Poxwalker fire team is composed of 8 operatives equipped with improvised weapons. Every model in my kill team has an ability called Disgustingly Resilient that allows them to roll a dice for each wound they take. With 5+, they ignore that wound. Also, my operatives cannot be injured.
Rise and shine, my Necrons! There are lesser beings who are wandering your lands and even dare to claim they're under their dominion. Take up your weapons and show them the punishment they deserve for awakening you. It's time to return to your former glory. Crush those parasites! My kill team consists of 1 Necron Warrior fire team and an Immortal fire team. The Necron Warrior fire team includes 5 Necron Warrior operatives armed with Gauss Player and Bayonet. The Immortal fire team includes 3 Immortal Warrior operatives and an Immortal Leader operative, all equipped with a Bayonet and a Gauss Blaster. As additional equipment, they all have a Starfire core and the leader also has a Tesla Weave.
My Poxwalkers are extremely slow and have no ranged weapons, so I've deployed them with the Conceal Order so they can stay hidden and advance without being seen. The Marines instead have the Engage Order. They will have to return enemy fire, at least until the Poxwalkers are close enough to charge.
Having the chance to deploy second, I tried to place my Necrons so that I could control the access to the central tower and keep my objectives safe. My Immortals will focus on trying to take out the enemy Marines, while the Warriors will be concerned with claiming objectives and thinning out the Poxwalkers.
It's time to do the scouting phase. Each of us chooses a number of dice equal to the corresponding number of the choice. 1 for Fortify, 2 for Infiltrate and 3 for Recon. Green dice for Death Guard and red dice for Necrons. I chose Fortify while Andrea chose Recon. Being the defender, I have to activate my choice of the scouting phase first, and I chose to deploy the barrier next to the containers in order to provide the Marines some extra cover from the firepower of the Necrons.
With the free dash, I order BD B1 Mo to climb over the barrels to get closer to the tower and have more chances to claim the central objective before Simone. In addition, having chosen Recon and Simone Fortify, I have the possibility to take the initiative in the first round. Having the initiative, I start first. BDB1 Joe, climb onto the container, claim the objective 2, and wait for further orders.
Roger, roger.
The first operative to take action is Eugene. Being exactly above the objective, he decides to claim it. Unfortunately, the Poxwalkers, when they take a mission action, they spend 1 point more than they should, so he can't do anything else. The good news is that I can activate 2 at a time, so the second operative to activate is Glenn. With a move and a dash, the dear Poxwalker advances towards the center of the battlefield.
Since Simone has all the Poxwalkers hidden, I move BD B1 Ray over the container to allow him to shoot the Poxwalkers, ignoring their conceal order. Then BD B1 Ray shoots the Poxwalker with the goggles. 4 hits at 3. 3 hits. Being in cover, one of the dice is automatically successful, so I roll 2 dice on a 6. Not 1.
The barrier knockdown doesn't count. Having a defense die saved, 6 wounds pass. Disgustingly resilient roll. For every 5, I ignore a wound. 2 ignored wounds. 4 wounds to our friend here. Afraid of the injuries he just received, Gabriel moves and dashes to hide behind the tower wall safely. Carol follows suit, and with movement and dash, she too advances towards the center.
The next to move is BD B1 Po, who also climbs on top of the container to be able to see the Poxwalkers. Then targets 1. He makes 4 shots at 3+, hitting 3.
As before, a defense dice is automatically successful, and it remains to roll 2 dice at 6. A 6! Only 4 wounds pass. Disgustingly resilient roll, 3 wounds. Great start for my Poxwalkers. Carl, with movement and dash, joins Carol, trying to stay hidden from the sight of the Immortals. Tara, suffering from her injuries, climbs over the pipe and hides behind the barrels.
It's time to move BD B1 Mo. He moves and dashes to get as close as possible to the central objective and try to take it in the next turn.
Ezekiel sees his friend hiding and thinks it might be a good spot, so he positions himself right behind him. Negan is happy that someone is in front of him, taking the shots of the Necrons, so he calmly approaches the 2 Poxwalkers.
BD B1 Tony moves and dashes in front of the stairs in order to block the passage, and if the other warrior fails his task, Tony will take his place.
Daryl, the Marine Warrior, has the Necron running up the stairs in full view in front of him, so he takes aim with his bolt gun and fires. 4 hits at 3. 2 hit, one of which is a critical hit.
Since BD B1 Mo is covered by the stairs, 1 defense dice passes automatically. For the remaining 2, I need 4 to save and at least a 6 for the critical. Nice! My droid is too thick.
Not content with failing the shot, Daryl moves behind the container.
Now that the warriors are finished, I can move the Immortals. K2SO Manny moves and dashes behind the barrier to better control the field.
Michonne, the gunner, quickly climbs over the pipe, and with a dash, she positions herself behind the barrels. Then, thanks to her 3 actions, she shoots the warrior in front of the stairs with her Meltagun. 4 shots at 3. Terrifying shot! It would definitely be better if she had a sword in her hand. I use a command point to reroll a dice. Better. 2 hit.
With -2 penetration, I just have to save with 1 dice at 4. There he is! 6 wounds to BD B1 Tony. K2SO Han moves and shoots the Marine Gunner, hoping to deal him some damage. 4 shots at 3. 3 hit.
With -1 penetration and the cover, I only have 1 dice left to roll at 3+. Saved! 4 wounds pass. Disgustingly resilient roll. 1 saved. 3 wounds to Michonne. She still has 9 wounds left. Rick, the leader, is the only one capable of reaching the objective, as the Poxwalkers are unsuitable for the task. After the move and the dash to climb the container, Rick claims objective 4.
K2SO Will shoots the enemy leader who is in sight above the container. 4 shots at 3. Thanks to the Starfire core, each critical hit counts a field roll as a success. This means all hit.
First of all, I use the tactical ploy Revolting Durability for 1 command point, which allows me to count a critical hit as if it were a normal hit. Then, with -1 penetration, I need to save 2 dice at 3+. Who knows why, but the 1 is always there. 12 dice for the disgustingly resilient roll. That's hard. Wow, 6 ignored wounds! I didn't expect it. Not bad. 6 wounds to Rick.
As a second action, K2SO Will moves in the middle of the pipes.
Having run out of operatives to activate, Daryl can do an overwatch by firing on the exposed Necron above the container. 4 hits, this time at 4+ due to the overwatch. A critical hit and a normal hit.
To save the wounds, BD B1 Joe needs a 6 and a 4 with 3 dice. Or 2 5s defending the critical. 3 wounds to him. K2SO Sonny claims the objective 5 and then tries to finish the enemy leader. 4 shots at 2. Just 2. Reroll with a command point. Wow! A crit! Thanks to the Starfire core, every shot hits.
Yeah, Andrea's luck. That's hard to save. -1 penetration, so I have only 2 dice to save at 3. Obviously, just 1. Another 12 dice for the disgustingly resilient roll. Nope, too many wounds pass. Rick, after having done his job of claiming the objective, greets us and leaves. Stupid objective 2 exposed.
Great! Having eliminated the enemy leader, I reveal the TAC Op Headhunter, thus gaining 2 victory points. Then I also revealed the Tac Op Deadly Marksman. At the end of the round, I earned another victory point, reaching 3, thanks to the 2 claimed goals. I didn't mind this first round, or rather, it went great. Simone has already lost one of his marines, and I'm very close to capturing the central objective. My operatives are in great positions, and all I have to do in the next rounds is stop Simone from claiming my objectives, and the game will be mine.
Losing my leader in the first round was pretty heavy, but the Death Guard is unstoppable and I can still do it without him. The most important thing is that Rick was able to claim the objective before he died. Unfortunately, now I will have to rely on someone else to go and claim the central objective. I absolutely have to be able to control the marker in the tower, or Andrea will get more victory points. Now it's time to find something useful for my Poxwalkers to do.
In the ready operative step of the initiative phase, every model in my kill team regains 2 lost wounds. So both BD B1 Joe and BD B1 Tony heal up. Now rolling for initiative.
Finally a good roll!
I guess initiative is yours.
In the strategy phase, I use the strategic ploy Malicious Volleys for 1 command point. This ploy allows marines armed with a bolt weapon to fire twice. Then I reveal the Tac Op Hold the Line, which earns me a victory point if there are no enemy models within 6 inches of my drop zone at the end of the turn. The first operative to take action is Glenn. First, he changes his order from Conceal to Engage, and without wasting time, he charges the Immortal in front of him. During the fight, Glenn makes 4 attacks at 4+.
K2SO Han responds with 4 attacks at 3+, hitting with a critical and 3 normals.
I only have 2 successful attacks. Well, it didn't go as I hoped. I doubt I can save Glenn. So I decide to do damage with my attack.
Ha! You fool! I defend the remaining dice and do damage with the other 3 dice.
I have to roll 10 dice at 5+ for the disgustingly resilient ability. With only 3 ignored wounds, Glenn is definitely dead. And horribly, I would say, he no longer has a face.
Here, take these 2 dice. We take them off next turn.
The second Poxwalker to activate is Ezekiel, and after changing the order in Engage, he charges the Necron next to the stairs. 4 attacks at 4+.
BD B1 Tony responds with 3 attacks at 3+, hitting only 2.
With the first of 3 successful attacks, I decide to do damage.
I defend an attack with the first one.
I do damage with the third dice too.
And with the last one, I just have to deal damage.
3 dice at 5+ to ignore wounds. Not 1. Great.
F you, Ezekiel.
F you, Tony.
K2SO Han targets the Marine Gunner once again with his trusty Gauss Blaster. 4 shots at 3. Just 2.
1 defense dice automatically saves for the cover, so with -1 penetration I need 3+ to save with the 1 dice. He is safe!
After failing miserably, K2SO Han moves forward over the barrier, entering within 6 inches of the opponent's drop zone.
Michonne, nervous about being targeted, decides to go there for a chat. Then she moves and dashes, coming face to face with the Necron that had shot her, and shoots him point blank. 4 shots at 3. 2 critical hits and 1 normal. She's angry.
Yay! 3+ to save. But with -2 penetration and 8 mortal wounds for the critical hits, there's nothing I can do to save him. K2SO Han collapses to the ground in a pool of liquefied metal. I reveal my Tac Op Plant Banner, as K2SO Han was the model I had secretly assigned the flag to, and with his death, he drops it to the ground. Then I use the Tactical Ploy Reanimation Protocol for 1 command point, and I place a reanimation token where K2SO Han died. In the next turn, I'll have to roll a dice. On a 3+, he comes back alive with D3 wounds. In the meanwhile, BD B1 Mo runs to claim the central objective, giving me the possibility to score 2 victory points at the end of the turn.
Carol is still a long way from the Necrons, so she tries to get close while keeping cover using movement and dash. Carl has no other covered places to go, so he moves behind the barricade.
From the top of the container, BD B1 Joe has full view of the Poxwalker with the lab coat, so he shoots him without much thought. 4 shots at 3, 1 crit and 1 normal hit,
saving with 3 dice at 6. 1 saved, disgustingly resilient. 2 wounds pass through. There's kinda collection of dice there. Gabriel runs to help his mate and charges Tony. 4 attacks on 3 thanks to Ezekiel's support.
Since BD B1 Tony has just 1 wound left, he's just dead. You've been a good warden of the stairs.
I reveal the Tac Op Rob and Ransack, and thanks to Tony's death, I gain 1 victory point. Tara moves towards the flag that the Necron has dropped, with the intention of destroying it. With move and dash, the Poxwalker comes close to her target.
Seeing BD B1 Tony fall, K2SO Sonny gets angry and runs to avenge him. As soon as the Poxwalker comes into full view, Sonny takes aim and fires 4 shots at 2. Hitting all thanks to the Starfire core.
-1 penetration, so just 2 dice at 6. Well, it's not enough. Only 17 dice to roll for the Death Guard ability. Something tells me that Gabriel is no longer with us.
That's for BD B1 Tony. And thanks to the attack of Deadly Marksman, I earned 1 victory point.
Negan, given the dangerous situation, uses movement and dash to run away and reach the pipes on the other side of the field. Eugene leaves his trusty objective and hides behind the tower walls.
BD B1 Poe sees the Poxwalker too close to the stairs and decides to shoot him with 4 shots at 3. Hitting 3.
3 dice at 6. Nope! Ignoring the wounds, Ezekiel feels the need to go find Tony and clarify the point. Daryl looks for a spot with good cover and then tries to take out the Necron on the tower, having him in full view. 4 hits at 3. 1 critical and 2 normal hits. Good job!
Saving with 3 dice at 4. All 3 save. But since there is a critical, I use the 3 dice to defend the critical and 1 normal hit.
You have to stop with this luck, mate! Thanks to deploy malicious volleys I used in the strategy phase, Daryl can shoot again. 4 more hits at 3. Only 1.
Good job! You should aim better, I guess. Saved. 1 shot out of 8 passed, so 6 wounds left to you. BD B1 Ray realizes that the flag is in danger and hurries to shoot the Poxwalker. 4 shots at 3. Hitting 3.
Tara is in cover, so I only roll 2 dice at 6. Perfect! Only 1 pass! Disgustingly resilient. Wow! Just 1 wound! Tara is fine! Daryl doesn't give up and tries again to hit the pigeon on the tower by shooting Overwatch. 4 shots at 4. Okay, not bad. 2 hit and 1 is a critical.
You really want him, huh? Saving with 4. Just 1. Meaning that BD B1 Mo is left with 1 wound.
Oh, come on!
K2SO Will watches as a Poxwalker tries to hide behind the stair pole. Too bad the pole is too thin to hide him. Then, Will decides to charge him. K2SO Will makes 4 attacks on 3. Hitting 3.
Carol responds with 4 attacks on 4. Hitting 2.
Having charged, K2SO Will starts the fight using 1 dice to deal damage.
Carol uses one of her attacks to parry.
Just so as not to place any more dice, I use the 3rd attack to block Simone's last attack.
3 dice for the ability. 2 wounds ignored! Carol is so strong!
K2SO Manny charges the Poxwalker with the lab coat, making 4 attacks at 3. Hitting them all!
Negan responds with his club by making 4 attacks on 4, but only hitting 2.
Manny chooses to do damage with the 1st attack.
Negan decides to parry.
Confused, K2SO Manny takes out the Poxwalker with the 3rd attack.
Negan tries to ignore the wounds, but saving just 1 is not enough. Tired, he collapses to the ground. At the end of the 2nd round I lost several Poxwalkers, but it's okay cause their role is only to annoy. The real problem right now is Daryl's aim and he should really start putting in more effort. Thankfully Michonne is doing her job and has managed to eliminate the bearer of the Necron's flag. At the moment I have 3 victory points, only 3 points behind Andrea, and the next round will perhaps be the decisive one. Get to work, guys!
At the end of the 2nd round, I earned 2 victory points thanks to the 3 objectives claimed, thus going to 6 victory points. My Necrons are doing really well. Unfortunately, I lost the Stair Guardian, but his companions promptly replaced him, and the stairs remain free of Poxwalkers. I have to hope in the next round that K2SO Han comes back to life to defend the flag. Come on guys, crush them for good! Before rolling for initiative, I roll to see if K2SO Han manages to come back to life or not. Yes! Somehow, Han regenerates from the liquid metal puddle with 3 wounds. Awesome! Now, all the models in my kill team recover 2 lost wounds. So, BD B1 Joe, K2SO Han, and BD B1 Mo recover wounds. Rolling for initiative.
Oh no, please!
Oh yes, please!
In the strategy phase, I use again the strategic ploy Malicious Volleys for 1 command point, hoping that Daryl will improve his performance.
K2SO Han is slightly upset from being melted by the gunner's meltagun in front of him. So, to get revenge, he shoots him 4 shots at 3. Thanks to the Starfire core, every shot hits.
I use the tactical ploy Revolting Durability for 1 command point, treating the critical as if it were a normal hit. Then, with -1 penetration, I only have 2 dice at 3. And here's the one. Rolling for Disgustingly Resilient. 4 wounds saved. Michonne is left with only 1 wound, but she's alive.
With his last action, K2SO Han charges the gunner.
Daryl, it's your time. Try to be a good guy. The Marine approaches the pipe to decrease the distance and be sure not to miss the shot. Then it targets the Necron on the tower and fires 4 shots at 3+. Daryl, are you kidding me?
Is he a clone or something? How can he possibly miss so many shots? Wound saved.
Let's try again, shall we? 4 more attacks on 3. Come on, you can do it. Wow, look at you! Your aim is improving!
No! My poor BD B1 Mo eventually died. Go find Tony. He's lost somewhere in the afterlife.
Finally, I can reveal the TAC Cope Deadly Marksman. Probably, despite the name, Daryl was not the best choice.
BD B1 Ray targets the Poxwalker near the flag to try to protect it and fires 4 shots at 3. Hitting all with 1 critical.
Being in cover, I rolled 2 dice at 6. Just the 1 for the cover. 10 dice to roll for the ability. Yeah, he's dead. Too bad you were so close to the flag.
As a second action, BD B1 Ray gets off the container and goes behind the crates.
Carl takes courage and charges the Immortal in front of him. Waving his pipe wrench, he makes 4 attacks on 4. Hitting 2.
K2SO Manny responds with 4 attacks at 3, hitting 3.
Carl decides to do damage with the first attack.
Manny parries the Poxwalker's last attack and deals 6 damage with his remaining dice.
Saving with the ability. 5 wounds through. But most importantly, Carl managed to stop the Necron from reaching the objective.
Poor Manny. He's left with 8 wounds.
Carol continues the fight against her opponent, but this time she starts with 4 attacks on 4. 2 hits.
K2SO Will responds with 4 attacks at 3. Literally.
Carol attacks with the first dice.
Will responds by defending with 1 of his dice and doing 9 damage with the other 3.
Saving with 9 dice. Oh my god, you can't kill her! She's left with 3 wounds.
Will is left with 8 wounds instead. BD B1 Poe takes aim at the only visible target from his position, the Marine behind the pipe. 4 hits at 3. Just 2 hits.
Saving with 2 dice at 3 plus 1 dice for the cover. Bad aim, but great armor. He's totally safe.
As a second action, he also gets off the container and positions himself behind the pipe.
Michonne takes out her sword, or should I say plague knife, and makes 3 attacks at 3 against the Immortal. Thanks to the crit, she does 5 wounds directly, just what it takes to kill him. Finally he's dead!
You wish. I use once again the strategic ploy reanimation protocol for 1 command point, and I place a reanimation token where K2SO Han died.
You can revive him, but you will no longer have the flag. Michonne reaches for the flag and incinerates it.
Watching the gunner incinerate the flag, BD-B1 Joe gets mad and fires 4 shots at 3 on the arsonist. Okay, rerolling 1 with the command point. Better. 1 crit and 1 normal hit.
Saving with 2 dice at 3 plus cover. All saved! Michonne happily dances on the remains of the flag.
And as a last action, Joe 2 drops off the container.
Eugene advances in search for cover in the center of the battlefield.
So, can you take him out or do you need help? Eliminate that Poxwalker, K2SO Will. 4 hits at 3. 4 hits.
Carol responds with 4 attacks at 4, hitting only 2.
Will makes an attack with the first dice and takes the Poxwalker to 0 wounds.
Rolling for Disgustingly Resilient. No, this is too much for Carol. She's dead.
Come on K2SO Manny, take Will's example and take out that Poxwalker too. 4 attacks at 3. 3 hit of which 1 crit.
Karl does 4 attacks at 4, hitting only 1.
Starting first, Manny kills the Poxwalker with his crit.
Disgustingly resilient, 4 dice at 5. Only 1. It's not enough. Bye, Karl! I think I've lost 1 too many Poxwalker. I no longer have a chance to reach the tower and the difference of victory points is too high. Victory goes to the Necrons.
Oh man, I love the Necrons in the New Kill team. The ability to recover 2 wounds at the start of each round makes them even more difficult to take down than they already are. And in case I lose important operatives of my kill team, I can always revive them thanks to the reanimation protocol. One of the factors that helped me take off with the victory points was the choice of secondary objectives. Being able to kill Simone's leader in the first round granted me 2 victory points, which is a lot in this mission. In addition, that model was the only one able to reach the tower in time, and eliminating it ensured me the control of the central objective.
Playing this game was really exhausting for me. Andrea was able to cancel my conceal orders thanks to the elevated positions on the container, making the advance of the Poxwalkers very difficult. Also, I think the key point of this match was the objective in the tower, and Andrea had direct access to the objective via the stairs, complete with cover, while my only access was extremely exposed and far. The Death Guard has a movement of only 2 circles. Their slowness was the cause of their demise. Nargol made them resistant, of course, but he could also put in a little more effort in terms of speed, right? And with this, we conclude. As I told you at the start of the video, we'll need your help to give a name to the Immortals Fire Team. If you want to have the possibility to name it, write your suggestion in the comments. We will choose the names we like the most and we'll do a community poll so that you can choose between them the final name of the unit. Remember, the units you name will be part of the campaign. We can't wait to see what names you will choose.
If you like our content and want to help us grow the channel, we have opened an account on the platform Buy Me a Coffee, where you can support us with donations. Any help you can give us to improve the channel is welcome. We are counting on you. The link is in the description. And if you have come this far, write the word Roger Roger in the comments to let us know. You are the best. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys!
See you next video!